Best bread to eat, ketogenic diet. You do not have to give up your favorited bread, sandwiches and pizza to follow a 100% paleo or ketogenic diet. Traditional bread is the one health danger in your diet and contains a hidden compound that makes it nearly impossible to burn fat and lose weight. That's why I invested 10 years of my life to create the world's healthiest bread. Today, I reveal the secret, so you can enjoy delicious real bread without worrying about your health, your blood sugar or your waistline. There are few foods more comforting and enjoyable than bread. Whether it is a warm piece of focaccia dipped in olive oil, a sandwich on a chewy baguette, a flaky croissant, or even the simplest slice of toast with butter. Just thinking about these foods makes your mouth water. And the blissful intoxication you experience when you eat bread is real. In fact, you might say bread is the original food addiction. Traditional bread produces compounds called gluteomorphins. And as their name implies, these compounds engage opioid receptors in your brain, the same receptors triggered by drugs like morphine and heroin. Very similar compounds, called casomorphins, are found in cheese. That would certainly explain the euphoric rush of pleasure you feel when biting into a crusty slice of pizza with bubbly, melted cheese. And just to make sure you keep coming back for more, the blood sugar spike you get from high-carb bread elevates dopamine, the craving neurochemical from which the word dope originates. Bread is a drug that causes a repetitive cycle of cravings for more bread. Our love affair with comforting and addictive bread is as old as recorded history. The Bible practically commands followers to eat it, give us this day our daily bread. It was so revered in ancient Greece, the rest of the meal was called opsin, meaning condiment or bread's accompaniment. However, that fuzzy glow you feel when you bite into a slice of warm bread is short-lived. Those few moments of toasty buttered bliss carry a heavy price. Well-known cardiologist Dr. William Davis calls wheat the perfect chronic poison. And for a poison, we sure eat lots of it. The average American consumes 55 pounds of wheat flour every year, making refined flour the #1 source of calories in the American diet. And it's one you have likely experienced firsthand. Eating traditional bread can elicit a range of symptoms. It might make you feel sluggish and foggy-headed, or cause you to gain unsightly fat on your belly, butt and thighs, while packing deadly visceral fat around your internal organs. Little known compound that makes the glycemic index of wheat among the highest of all foods. You know how important it is to keep your blood sugar stable. Rapid blood sugar and insulin spikes promote a cascade of inflammation and oxidation. Triggering these forces over and over again dramatically increases your risk for cancer, Alzheimer's, heart disease, fatty liver, diabetes, macular degeneration, physical aging, wrinkles, and more. And did you know that wheat, including so-called healthy, whole wheat, spikes your blood sugar more than almost any other food, even when the same number of carbs is consumed? That's because 75% of the carbohydrates in wheat are in the form amylopectin A. This compound is unique because of how rapidly it is transformed to glucose. According to research published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, eating just 2 slices of whole wheat bread spikes your blood sugar more than drinking a can of soda, eating a candy bar or helping yourself to 6 teaspoons of table sugar. And if the threat of diabetes, heart disease and metabolic syndrome is not enough, the damage traditional bread can do to your gut should make you think long and hard before you butter your next biscuit. Unfortunately, however, there is a big misconception about bread and your gut. And it has cost millions of people their health and enjoyment in life. You're probably familiar with celiac disease. It is the most serious, and often life-threatening, sensitivity to grains that contain gluten. Many who suffer this condition cannot consume even the slightest speck of wheat without severe digestive pain, and other embarrassing symptoms. Other illnesses, like Crohn's and inflammatory bowel disease, also result in debilitating cramping, bloating and other digestive distress when wheat is consumed. This leads many people to believe that as long as you can eat bread without belly problems, then you must be in the clear, no harm done. Truth is nearly 50% of newly diagnosed celiac patients have no digestive symptoms too. In other words, half of the people who are extremely sensitive to wheat can still consume it without the typical stomach problems. Even if you feel just fine after eating bread, every bite is causing silent damage to your gut, and quietly setting you up for serious disease. Dr. Alessio Fasano is a professor of medicine and distinguished researcher, with more than 240 peer-reviewed papers to his credit. His research, in addition to dozens of other scientists around the world, shows that wheat causes chronic gut inflammation. Compounds within it can also do direct damage to every tissue in your body. And you don't need certain genetics for the damage to occur. It happens to everyone who consumes it. Of course, the inflammatory protein we call gluten is partly to blame. In fact, the New England Journal of Medicine lists 55 conditions which can be caused by gluten, ranging from those as benign as canker sores to diseases as serious as cancer. The most dangerous proteins in wheat are known as lectins, the primary compounds plants use to protect themselves from insects, bacteria, and lectins are actually designed to poison you. In fact, the poison known as ricin, deadly in amounts as small as half a grain of sand, is a lectin. Of course, most lectins won't kill you overnight, but they can make you very sick over time. Among the most dangerous is wheat germ agglutinin, WGA. Studies show that WGA is cardiotoxic, toxic to the heart and blood vessels, immunotoxic, toxic to the immune system, cytotoxic, induces programmed cell death, neurotoxic, toxic to nerves and brain tissue. Why it's nearly impossible to burn fat and lose weight when you're eating bread. You've probably heard of insulin as the fat storage hormone. When insulin and glucose levels are high, fat storage increases and fat burning stops. That's why high glycemic traditional bread is so effective at making you fat, but it gets even worse, because studies show that wheat germ agglutinin is a dead ringer for insulin. 0.16 In fact, a report in the American Journal of Physiology proves that WGA bonds directly to insulin receptors, which increases fat storage and blocks your ability to burn stored fat. 17 And that's not the only way this killer compound in bread disrupts your hormonal function. The long-term consequences of chronic gut inflammation are severe. The lining of your gut is extremely sensitive. So sensitive that it's slightly damaged every time you eat, even when you choose the healthiest foods. Normally, the damage is repaired quickly and the lining of your gut is regenerated with new cells. But lectins slow vital regeneration to a crawl. By attaching to the wall of your intestines, they prevent the cells from regenerating fast enough to keep the lining of your gut intact. Why that blaze in your belly stoked by bread is so dangerous. When your gut is healthy, beneficial nutrients easily pass through, while bacteria, viruses, yeast, allergenic proteins and bits of undigested food are blocked from entering your bloodstream. But when your critical gut barrier is inflamed, and the tight junctions are pried apart, harmful substances seep from your digestive system into your blood. The longer the damage goes on, the worse it will be down the road. Unwanted substances leaking from your digestive tract into your blood promotes constant inflammation, the cornerstone of disease. But what it does to your immune system might be worse. As pathogens, proteins and undigested food particles seep into your blood, your immune system mounts an attack against these foreign invaders. This dramatically increases the number and severity of food allergies, intolerances and seasonal allergies you may experience. And it's the root cause of the modern allergy epidemic. Your immune system isn't designed to engage in a never-ending war. Constant hypervigilance takes a toll. As your overtaxed system grows weaker, you become more susceptible to illness and infection. How these healthy keto-friendly breads were created, and why they are so special. Didn't start out to become a nutrition expert. It all began when I became very sick. At the age of 18, in the midst of an intense pre-medical curriculum, my health took a sudden turn for the worse. My youthful energy gave way to extreme fatigue. I suffered never-ending sinus infections, constant digestive distress, and a trail of sores in my throat that did not heal for months. After nearly 2 years of suffering, and no help from dozen doctors, I began to lose hope. I wasn't sure if my illness would ever end, or if it would be the end of me. Set out to discover how to use intelligent ingredients to achieve all the attributes you love about bread, without the gluten, grains and carbs. My goal was to create real bread with good-for-you ingredients, that was easy to make and tasted so delicious it could be served in a fine restaurant. But I had no idea how hard it would be. What I thought might take a few months, took years. When I began, most people had not even heard the term gluten-free. There were very few grain-free bread recipes online, and produced awful results, to be honest. There were no products in the store to model and no guidebooks to follow. We also knew our healthy breads would be perfect for the ketogenic diet. So, we selected the best of the best and I went back into the test kitchen. I continued tweaking and testing. Making preparation methods simpler, improving the mix of ingredients, adding new recipes to the collection, and making sure each one was aligned with the magic macros of the keto diet. Every recipe was carefully tested until we achieved the perfect texture, crumb and ease of preparation. And I refused to settle for anything less than extraordinary taste. We continued improving until every recipe was perfect, and perfectly keto-friendly. If you're still interested, you can order now from here. If you like this video, please help us to subscribe to our channel or share it. Thank you for watching.